Hey, and welcome back to Beef and Clown. I am Clown. That's Radmus Fliss on Twitter. You can find me there. Look me up. We're here to do some art today. I will be joined shortly by Beef. They are out running errands in hell. They had to get a new suit for themselves so that they could show up appropriately for Old Scratch. But I am joined here today by an outstanding Harlequin that I am familiar with. Definitely my best friend here on the mortal plane. Give it up for little Harley.
Hey, thank you for that awesome introduction, Fliss. It's wonderful to be here. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got a special plan for tonight, and we'll see if I can pull it off the way that I want to. Because I have definitely I'll be struggling with. I've got an idea in my head, and I don't know if I can make it happen. But we're gonna see what we can do. And with that, let's actually go ahead and transition over to the quote of the day, which for us today is going to be, "If you can draw well, tracing won't hurt. And if you can't draw well, tracing won't help." That's by Bradley
So,
Schmale. Yeah. Um, I definitely got a little bit of practice in shapes from tracing things, but a lot of my recent practice has been drawing things from reference by looking at the reference and making judgments. One of the things that my uh, figure drawing professor has been trying to teach me is to use my thumb as a reference for distances, because I can hold it up in front of my monitor and then hold it up in front of my other monitor and then try and make sure that my proportions are right from that. But I don't know if that's going to help me too much tonight. We'll see.
I mean, it makes sense. The concept makes sense.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to be trying something. My reference tonight is only kind of vaguely what my I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. Uh, I guess the best way would be to start, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think right now one of my struggles is I want to make sure these read as what they're supposed to be. So it's not just that I'm drawing things that I'm not sure what uh,
That makes sense.
I'm not sure what they'll look like when it's done, but I want them to look like what they're supposed to look like, right?
Absolutely.
And
Because
then
if it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like, that's kind of counterproductive.
it's literally the opposite of what I'm supposed to be accomplishing as an illustrator. Now I have told Lil Harley what I'm drawing. I have not yet told the audience what I'm drawing.
This is true.
So it's kind of up to the audience. I think maybe they should guess, or should I tell them? I guess I should probably just tell them, right?
You know, it can't hurt to tell them. Um,
Can't it?
no.
It
I mean,
can't?
no, it can't hurt.
Okay,
It could
so
help. It's like helping hands.
fair. So I kickstarted or backed Kickstarter for a tabletop role playing setting for Dungeons and Dragons 5e, and this one has on its writing team Chris Metzen, who was heavily involved with Warcraft from the beginning, lots of experience at Blizzard, so I have lots of appreciation for him, his art, his writing, and I'm very excited to play in this setting. And one of the cool things that he or well, one of the cool things in this setting rather is there are different types of music that are covered in the beginning of the book when it's talking about the different cultures. And so what he has, because if you've ever played any of the Warcraft games, you probably know that there's like heavy metal bands in Warcraft, right?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
this setting is no exception. There are heavy metal bands, and they're even heavier metal than they were before because these there's a dwarf who invented a genre of music called ironcore, and so essentially this dwarf, got tired of making things on his anvils because as he worked in his family's forge throughout the day, he heard the sound of the hammers on the anvil and he heard beats. And so
Nice.
he took those and developed a style of music that he called ironcore.
Sounds totally metal to me.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw a dwarf playing anvils. I gotta look at my anvil reference here, cause I'm unsure of how that goes. These are much more. I chose these anvils that look like dwarven anvils. What's wrong with me?
Nothing, because you're going for a dwarf playing anvil, so it kind of makes sense. But you know, if you need to change it up, it's okay.
Am I allowed to make sense?
Yes,
Oh, okay, dope. I'll work on that. No promises.
that's okay. You don't have to. You're just allowed to.
Okay. Well, if this is gonna be more like, let's make these a little more original. The words "fuck it, why not" come to mind. Oh, you know what? It occurs to me. I didn't do my thing where I set up the stream on my window because OBS is really bad at keeping me up to date on anybody that might be in the chat. So let me pop into my own stream so that I can see if anybody's saying anything in the chat.
Coolio.
And then also keep an eye on if my stream looks dopey, which it almost never does
At this
because
point,
I'm amazing.
I'll be honest. I'm not seeing anything, and I'm not sure if it's a technical issue on my end.
Are you
Which
looking at twitch.tv/beefandclown?
no, I am not. See, that would be my problem. So
That
let me fix that.
explains why you're not seeing anything.
I told you, issues on my end. I fully understand the problem.
Now, I'm trying to get you set up here for success, but you keep fighting me. I don't know why you're fighting me. You don't have to fight me.
There we go.
Yeah, you can see all the things. This anvil is starting to look more like a hammer, but that's okay.
I
I'll
am
add
getting
more
some weird
details later.
feedback now, so I'm gonna have to mute
Oh,
this.
yeah, definitely mute the stream while you have it on. Good
Got
gravy.
it.
Yeah, I do not listen to my own stream. That would be not good. TMC and even R. So
There we go.
this one, I want to have like
Okay. Now I can see the things and I feel like one of the cool kids.
You already are one of the cool kids. That's why you're here.
Oh, you so sweet.
I'm just
Um,
doing like my outlining layer right now, so this.
right, and I think you've said before outlining in red helps for that's like a great place to start off, right?
I mean, I outline in red because I want to make it easier for me to see. But you can outline in whatever color you want. Sometimes I do blue. Sometimes
Okay,
I'll do pink. It just really depends on my mood.
that's fair. But this is all for like the rough sketch, and then later you go back over it, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
and definitely try and use like multiple layers.
Oh yeah, always. I learned that the hard way with a couple of my drawings, and oof, so so much issues. But that's what the learning curve is for, right?
Yep. Hey, I mean, sometimes if you don't like your art, you just gotta go in and delete that shit.
This is also true. That's why we have back buttons. They are there for a reason.
I mean, sure, you could do back buttons if you want.
Yeah, I prefer having the option for a layer to just remove the whole thing. So much easier and quicker and simpler.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Hmm.
Dope.
So I'm starting to see what you're coming with.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I'm a little bit conflicted about is the symbols. I'm not sure how I want to represent the symbols, if I want to do like actual symbols or if I want to try and make them look like something else. And I'm kind of feeling like actual symbols is probably the way to go.
Right.
So I'm going to try and make this.
Because the only other thing I could think of that you would be able to do is like shields, but that could get
Oh,
really complicated.
no, we're going to do shields.
Okay, cool.
That's why you're brilliant.
I just think out the box.
Good. Good.
I like that stand. That's coming in cool.
Yeah. It's it's going to get moved and rotated,
Oh yeah,
but I wanted to get it somewhere where I could fuck with it freely.
absolutely.
Let's do a shield. In fact, let's do a shield this way. In fact, let's do a shield even smarter than that.
Are we pulling out the oval tool?
No, I'm no good with those tools, but what I am okay with
Oh, his mirror? Nice.
is yeah.
Oh, yes. I like that.
So now I can fuck with this thing as I like.
Oh yeah, that's sexy.
Whoop. All right. Symmetry
That's
off.
sexy. I like it. That's hot.
That is going to be one of our symbols. I haven't even drawn the dwarf yet. We'll get there. Probably should have put that on a different layer, but here we are. I think I have one other symbol like that, so I might actually,
I would copy.
yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then just pull this one over here, where that goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That looks good.
That's awesome.
Need to, oh, that's a much more complicated stand. But it looks like my picture is a little smaller, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's do it like this. Are you gonna, oh, you didn't do it. Oh, because I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
What do you mean wrong buttons?
I mean, I'm pressing shortcut keys to try and make things happen, and
Ah,
the things aren't happening because I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
okay.
So, like, things are happening, but not what I'm trying to make happen.
But not the things you want. Okay. That makes more sense. Speaking of things happening, that thing that I'm trying to do, it's coming together.
Good, good.
Yes.
It would be awfully silly if you were still doing it and it wasn't.
That is so true.
And you're organizing your life right now, is that right?
That is true. I am trying to organize my techie world at the moment, and it's a little complicated.
I mean, it would have to be, right? Because as someone as naturally chaotic as you are,
Yeah, I can't do anything like the easy way ever. I don't know how.
that's just life,
That's the life of a Harley Quinn.
right? I mean, it's not entirely different from clown, to be honest, I think.
No, I
Um,
think we're totally in the same kind of genre.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, and I don't know, tell me if I'm being unfair about this, but I think that there's a little bit more evil in Harlequin.
Oh yeah, no, totally. There is way more evil and chaos in a Harlequin than there is in a clown. A clown is generally to make someone laugh and smile. A Harlequin's job is, well, what was it that I said? Oh yeah, it's to serve. But with no master, it just becomes chaos. And well, I don't like having a master. So it's all chaos. All the time.
There you go. There you go, kids.
Yeah.
All right, there's one more symbol, and then I get to stop messing around and draw the dwarf. And this symbol is different from the others because it's, oh, I don't know what it's called. I don't actually play the drums. Um, it's the kind that has the two cymbals that smash
On top
down.
and one on the bottom, I believe that's
Yeah,
called
yeah,
a
yeah.
hi hat.
A hi-hat, yeah.
I think.
Beef says that he'll be here soonish. Uh,
Shiny.
he has to decontaminate because he's been out among humans, and it's really
Right.
complicated.
Hey, man, there's still a plague out there. That's totally understandable. Can't be bringing that into the in from the out.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Look, you might think that you know everything, but Satan does not want to get COVID-19. That's just a fact.
No.
That is the reality of the situation.
That would be horrible.
So, opinion on this hi-hat here. Do you think it should be similarly goofy like the shields? And if so, how shall we represent it?
Hmm. Good question. Let's see. What else would they have access to? I mean, we got anvils and we got shields. Um,
I'm thinking I should just look up like some dwarf stuff. Uh,
okay.
or I
How
mean, it
about
could
a
be like two
female
different
dwarf
kinds of shields.
breastplate?
You gave me an idea.
Wonderful. That was the goal.
Let's see here.
We're all about the ideas. I'm trying to picture this dwarf like compiling their own drum set out of things that they have around based on how they learned to make these sounds
Right.
and how it was hodgepodge together.
This one might be a little bit harder to identify at first, but we'll get there. So you just got to bear with me a little bit on this one.
Well, and if at any point that becomes a little bit too complex, you could always swap them out and make the shields the top and bottom of the hi-hat and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other thing the
I
other
mean,
ones.
the thing is, this is a 2 hour long stream, so I am not worried about it becoming too
Right.
complex. If all I get done tonight is line art, well, that's fine. But I think it should be a little bit more clear now where I'm going with this.
Is that a helmet?
Yeah, there's going to be two helmets,
Nice.
and they're just going to smash together, and that's the hi-hat is literally two hats.
I love it.
And then
Yes.
the top one here, and then part of what's going to help make that sound is this here. This here is chainmail.
Okay, so it'll help make that
Yeah,
sound that it
yeah.
should. Nice. Okay. I dig it. Why is that not giving me? That should be my input source. Where is my signal?
If you are having trouble getting your domes to be domes, just use the mirror tool. I love my
Yeah,
mirror tool.
that is so awesome. I love it.
I swear by the mirror tool.
I understand. That is cool.
Actually, we should put that on the other side.
Well, then, if that's not going to work, we're going to go over here. Please forgive the scratchy
I haven't heard any.
cords in and out.
I haven't heard any scratching.
That's awesome.
But I'm pretty happy with my helmets here so far. I'm not sure if they'll read. I mean, I'm sure they will. We gotta put the connecting thing through there. Doesn't look like we actually need much of a mechanism, but let's go ahead and put the imagine them playing Misty Mountains on this thing. I swear Beef is gonna come on and be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, but once he sees it and gets it, it's going to be epic. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That stands to reason.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good right there. Okay, I think we are at the point now where we can start drawing the dwarf, which I'm going to put in a different color on a different layer to make sure that it looks right. Does that read as a drum set? I'm not sure if that reads as a drum set or not. And now it's quiet, and I'm wondering if I've done something, if my stream is still going.
No, it's still.
Okay, good.
You're good. I had to mute for a second because I had to go and find another chord, and it was going to make a lot of noise.
No problem.
But I found it. I have what I need.
Good.
Now I just have to implement it where I want it. We're gonna. Gonna go here. You know what the really funny thing is? I should really just move one TV to one room and the other one to the other room, because one of them has so many more input sources.
Oh yeah, do you like it when they have more inputs?
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I could totally run with that, but I feel like that might be pushing the edge of appropriateness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. As I recall, we're supposed to be like PG-13, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Or PG. Ish.
Ish.
All right, let's see if this did what I wanted to.
I don't know if that's going to read, but we'll see.
Victory is mine. Oh, I love it.
I ain't done anything yet.
Oh, I love the hi-hat. I hadn't seen it for a second. Like I said,
Oh.
I had to walk away. Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
This is not. Just get rid of that. That's. You know what? I'll worry about that detail later. I'm putting off drawing the dwarf. I need to not do that. Okay. It's dwarfing time. Nobody? Okay. Well.
All right, I am dying to see this dwarf materialize.
Well, I haven't drawn him yet.
I know. That's why I'm excited.
I want to give him like really high cheekbones. But also he's gonna be smiling like a fucking loon, so that's gonna work towards his favor.
Nice.
You know what I'm not good at?
Mm,
Drawing smiling people with beards. That's okay though.
I have difficulties with hands.
Oh yeah,
Hands are the bane of my existence.
hands are a huge bane. But I am putting a lot of detail on the face, and I still need to get the body.
Yeah.
Let's give him a big barrel chest. Where's your center line, sir? Where's your line of action? How about them apples? Time to look at my reference and see where the reference's line of action is.
There you go.
I'm going to drop this in another color. We're going to plop in a new layer so that this doesn't interfere with anything. And I think my line of action is something like that. And the line of action is important because it helps you establish a dynamic pose
Okay.
for your character. If you stick with your line of action, it'll help you also identify like where is your character balanced properly. Trying to see. Yeah, that's he's got a shorter but wider chest. Definitely his front line is here. Kind of got his ribs or his hips are gonna come up like this. Now some of this is gonna end up getting covered
By the drum set, yeah.
not just by the drum set, but also I'm gonna give him a beard.
Yeah. But having an idea of where all the body parts should be helps you figure out everything else, right?
Yeah, it's gonna make it look more realistic by a lot.
Nice.
So like this is gonna be his chest. His pecs are kind of coming down pretty low, but I'm not really worried about that because he's a dwarf. And that's just how dwarfs be.
Right.
Now, he's got a bit of a weird thing going on because I want this arm to be up. And so his collarbone needs to be able to let him do that. I like giving my characters very knobbly, like elbows and knees.
Yeah.
I like them to be very obvious. And I'm kind of skipping steps because normally I would want to establish my skeletons a little bit more.
I'm just looking at that angle on that arm and going, wow.
Yeah.
But not seeing your reference, that would be why. It's making my brain a little, huh. I'm sure based off what you're looking at, it makes total sense.
This is the right angle for his arm. I'm trying to decide actually if the forearm shouldn't come in a little bit closer to the head, like angle in more this way, and I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Because I want to see more of his hand, because he's going to be holding a hammer, and
Right.
that's a pretty big part of. It's a pretty big part of this. But the thing to note about that is that if his arm comes in more, that means this muscle here is going to bunch up more.
Right. Like you're getting a bicep.
Right. Which is why this here is scrunched. Because we've got kind of his ulna and his okay, I can't remember the anatomy of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting a message here. Oh, it's from my friend Kurtree. I will check it
Nice.
in a little bit because I want to know what they have to say and devote all the attention that it deserves to it. So this, he's got big ol' dwarf hands. So the way you hold drumsticks is a little bit different than the way you'd hold a hammer. And so we're going to try and draw his hands the drumstick way and see how that reads. Maybe it won't read at all. Maybe it'll read exactly the way I want it to.
He's got to be extra nimble to play those with a hammer.
Yeah.
That's got to be awesome.
But the thumb is still in the wrong place. And also, I think the hammer needs to be longer, so we'll fix that too. No, give me back my... Ah! Unsure how I caused that effect specifically, but that's alright. Oh, this is just one hammer and it's so long. Maybe too long. But I was kind of going for, well, no, I guess the other arm is a little bit. This is too big. This arm is definitely too big. It's a lot closer to this. But also, that's pointing in the wrong direction. Let's get rid of this. So my reference actually has this arm down here. Like they're about to hit something, which is actually pretty dope in and of itself. Because that means we can approximate doing that thing. Alright, this guy looks hella cool.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta stop trying to get ahead of myself with some of these things. Where's your... It's about like this. Your elbow down here. I don't spend a lot of time practicing drawing masculine characters, so I am pretty impressed that this guy's coming out the way that he is.
No, it's coming out pretty awesome so far. I'm digging it.
As long as it reads like what I want it to read like, I'm happy with it. And I think I'm achieving that.
I mean, so far he looks like a really buff dude with a hammer in front of a really interesting type drum set.
I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the whole deal, right?
Right. Exactly.
Hitting himself in the head with his own fucking hammer.
that would hurt.
I'm like looking at this going, wait, are these in the right angle even? Yes. This is the way you would hit anvils with the hammer. For a moment, I was a little bit afraid that I had them coming out in different directions, which like isn't the least believable thing.
Uh,
But I mean, everything about this would probably just sound fucking awful. Not gonna lie. Just be a bunch of clinkety clink 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 clink.
I don't know if he threw skins over certain anvils in certain ways, it might change the reverb coming off of the anvils, so it's not just a clink.
Yeah. Now I've got to figure out how to get myself a good old fashioned dwarven beard.
Nice and thick. That's okay. I think the beard will help because right now I'm having some serious Cobblepot vibes going, but the beard will help that.
Cobblepot?
Yeah, Penguin.
Oh,
He's a short, buff, bald man.
word. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Bye, nipple. You're hidden by beard now.
Woot.
That'll teach you for existing. Okay, I gotta look at my hair reference. Where are you, hair reference? I kind of love it, actually. It makes him look way crazier.
Yes.
I promised myself I would not draw mohawks anymore. And here I am, doing that thing. How's everybody in the chat doing tonight? Getting by?
I don't know. Not
I'm
seeing
hoping
anything.
so. There's
I hope
nobody
so.
nobody's saying anything in the chat right now, but it looks
No,
like we've got some viewers.
I'm just not seeing anything.
That's okay. Lurkers are fine. We love lurkers.
They may be just enjoying the show.
Plenty to enjoy, plenty to enjoy. At least that's the hope. That's the dream. Yeah, what's up, Richie? Glad to see you're doing good. Glad to see you back.
Yay!
I hope this is a lot more readable when I'm doing my actual line work. So I think that my original reference, okay, her eyes are not closed exactly, but they're near closed. I cannot tell. I have too many guidelines. I cannot tell where the actual, there we go. Now, I should probably catch his
Ooh,
leg right here because it would be visible. Unfortunately, it looks like that's actually all I need to do to catch his leg right there.
yeah.
This guy's pretty hairless for a dwarf right now. Like, he's got all the hair on his head, and that's grand. But, like, he doesn't have hair on his body.
It's okay. He doesn't have to have hair on his body. He's a dwarf.
That seems like he should have hair on his body then.
Not always.
You know what? I'm making my own laws here. He's a trans-masked dwarf, and that's why he doesn't have hair on his body.
Yes. I love it. Ivy would totally agree with that too.
Good. Let's smooth that out a bit. It's a bit. There we go. Okay, I think I am ready to start doing some inking. So I'm going to turn off my line of action. I'm going to put these in a folder and reduce the opacity. And that will let me see what I'm working on without being overpowering. Taking a little bit of a stretch break here.
That's fair.
Getting a little bit of water.
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of music do you think he's playing?
Oh, well, let's see. It's going to be something.
I mean, it's Ironcore, but like,
Yeah.
if there's a real world equivalent, let's get a song suggestion that people can look up and listen to on Spotify while I finish this.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Or a better platform than Spotify, because I guess Spotify sucks or something. I don't know. I didn't use Spotify, so
Um, I guess I'm needing an extra reference on what that might sound like. Is it like more heavy metal or? Because my music taste is kind of old school.
I mean, I think old school is good for this. I think that like you're around the same age as Chris Messin, if I had to guess.
So I'm thinking maybe some Pantera.
Okay, sounds good. Let me see if I can pull up the description of Ironcore here. Culture.
I mean, Metallica is always a good reference.
Yeah. Voices of the modern age. Be your Lightfoot, misbegotten. Estevez, Worm Rider. That's who I'm looking for. Megan Rocksteady came from a long line of dwarf metalsmiths. The young dwarf was slated to carry on the family business in Scarborough, but he developed an obsession with the rhythmic music he heard and the sound of forge hammers striking anvils. Before long, his work began to suffer, and his percussion craft was banned from the family forge. Unwilling to quit, Magnan set up a pair of second-hand anvils in a crumbling warehouse, where he practiced for hours, pursuing the rhythmic crash and bang of his ambition.
I love it.
So that's where this came from. I absolutely love that description. It is metal AF.
Well, and I've actually got a friend who does forging, and they do have to keep a pretty solid beat while they're forging and everything else. So having rhythm is a thing. And so I could totally see this being an actual thing that would happen.
You'd have to be so crazy strong though.
Oh, dude, my friend's arms are like, oh my god, I can't even describe them.
Cause it's not in this case it's not just like a beat, right? It's like a whole like I mean, the way it describes it is there's no uh, uh, there's no stringed instruments accompanying at least this particular band.
Right.
So the way that they're doing it is they have um, this. I think it's a drow elf is singing poetry
Yeah.
that they wrote, like bleak poetry, and then the dwarf is playing in the background. So this would have to be the rhythm, not just the rhythm, but the harmony.
Right.
And yeah, that's. I mean, it's you'd have to be hitting pretty hard, pretty fast, I would guess. Maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily, but I don't know. I'm not a musician, and I'm definitely not a smith. What I am is a clown who thinks dwarves are cool as hell.
It's because they are.
Yeah. Especially this guy.
Okay. Um, I will be back in a moment. I have to go and do a couple of things. Okay?
Okay.
All right. See you in a minute.
Okay. We had metal bands in America briefly, but man, they dropped off real quick in the 90s. And now, I mean, I guess there's still metal bands out there, right? Sort of my plan for some of these is to make it like this is going to be like a gold anvil here for this big guy with like gems set into it. That's what those diamonds are going to be. I'm really stoked. And maybe I'll just make this guy a character in my game when I play this D&D setting. Players can run into this guy. Which means we should probably give him a name. Or at least give him a stage name. Those are not perfect squares. Ha ha ha. No dwarf would accept this. I feel like this anvil is probably angled the wrong direction. Like, cause normally you would want your drum faces to be angled towards you, and this one's angled towards the viewer. And I'm not sure if that's right. But I'm not super happy with this anvil anyway. I want it to be a little bit more stylized like the others, so I think I might go in and make some special modifications. Part of the issue is like the drum did this number, so it was facing away, and I think that this one also needs to face away. By sort of imitating that. I'm freewheeling now. You think about it, these are supposed to be his rundown ones too, but they don't look rundown at all. But I guess rundown to a dwarf would be different than rundown to you or me. They've got much higher standards, right? I've never met a fantasy dwarf. In fact, yep, nope, I've never met a. I was gonna say I've been to Disneyland, so maybe I've met one of the 7 dwarves, but I don't think that actually I have. I've seen many of the Disney characters, but never the Seven Dwarves. See, and now when I do it like this, you see a lot less of the actual dwarf. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins? What is everybody winning?
I am changing this anvil to look more like the other anvils, or at least
Oh,
this
okay.
other front one, so that it looks more consistent and also looks like he would be about to hit it with his anvil, or with his hammer,
Gotcha.
because current build, or the original view on it, he just it was facing more towards the viewer than towards the drummer, and
That
that's
makes sense.
generally not how those work.
Very true. Very true. It's looking cool, though.
Yeah, I think it's coming out all right.
Very much so. Very much so.
We're only halfway through the stream, so I'm feeling pretty good about at least getting the line work done. I don't know if I'll be able to time a whole render in here.
Cool. I am so digging the symbols.
Yeah, that was an excellent idea. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Totally welcome.
Also, very glad I went with the more dynamic pose for this instead of the original drum set reference that I was going to use, which, while it is fine, it wouldn't capture this emotion that I want.
Yeah, not with this character. I totally agree.
And capturing this emotion is really nice.
He looks so into it. Oh, I like that adjustment on the handle.
Make it a little bit more loosey-goosey.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta do a little improvisation.
Well, this is where it shows that the original line art is just a guideline. It doesn't have to be the final product.
Yeah, like honestly, it should even probably have been a lot rougher than it is, and then I should have gone over and done additional layers underneath that were progressively cleaner. But one, I am lazy and very bad at doing art the way I'm supposed to do it. And two, I only have so much time on the stream, and
I
so
would go with That, and that it shows your experience level that you don't need those extra levels in order to pull this off.
I mean, I'm still learning, and that's a big part of the channel is learning, and so I don't want to encourage anybody to skip steps. That's actually a lot of why I'm not a better artist now, is because my impatience as an adolescent
Mm,
meant that I didn't take the time to learn the steps that I needed to.
okay.
I skipped wherever I could and often drew without reference. And so now, uh, I've picked up a ton of bad habits, just a ton of them. So I have
So
to,
now you're in the relearning phase.
yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
relearning digitally works a lot better because then at least like I was gonna have to relearn it anyway.
That is fair because there is a difference between digital and non-digital,
Yeah,
and there is a major learning curve between the two.
having experience with one does help you learn the other.
Oh,
But
I agree, but there is a learning curve.
oh yeah,
And if you're having to relearn some stuff anyways, might as well just go straight to the medium that you're going to be using predominantly. In your
yep.
case, digital.
I think what's kind of funny is a lot of what I see artists saying is when you're good enough at doing the art, the tools that you're using don't make a difference. And I think that's such a weird thing to say because I noticed, like, I used to use a Wacom Intuos tablet to do my digital art, and it was okay.
hmm
Uh, but once I got the Cintiq for school, my skill level drastically seemed to improve overnight. Like, whoa, that was weird. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Who could have
Um.
thunk it?
Like, okay, so a line is a line is a line, and if you could draw a line, you could draw a line. However, there's differences between traditional media and digital. In traditional media, you can feel a drag, whereas digital, you've got to kind of intuit where to stop and start
Yeah,
in a way, and you
certainly,
don't have that resistance to help gauge things. And yeah,
certainly
I mean,
more true on the Intuos, where you're looking at your screen and not at your page,
right.
because your page is a blank fucking tablet. Pardon my French.
No, I agree completely. I wonder if any of the viewers have any thoughts on that.
I don't know. We'll give chat a moment to update. We're now at the exciting part. I get to do the hi-hat.
I'm so stoked for that. And when we were coming up with this idea, where my idea started and where you went to, it totally reminds me of um how to how to train your dragon.
Yeah, that was what
Um,
gave me the idea because
yes.
of when Hiccup gets the helmet from his father, he says, "Oh, it was your mother's breastplate,"
Uh-huh.
and then she turns out to be like a twig in the later movie, but that's okay.
Right. Still awesome.
Yeah, it was still a very funny joke.
I love it. I love that we were kind of sort of on the same page.
That's why we're good friends, best friends, amazingest
Yes.
friends.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Beef is gonna make it tonight.
I don't know.
Sometimes hell just gets too busy.
That happens.
It does happen. Hell is a crazy place.
It is. It makes Gotham look like a joyride.
I mean, Gotham is pretty crazy.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's totally crazy. That's why I love it. But hell, definitely crazier.
I don't know. I think I'd rather visit hell than Gotham. I think Gotham is not as safe as hell. Cause
Well,
like,
like, yeah, the safety levels are definitely different. Hell should be safer.
I mean, hell's got rules, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's okay.
Gotham does
Anytime you
not.
visit Gotham, I will totes keep you safe.
Good. I mean, you're a little chaotic, but I trust you anyway.
It's fine. You'll be fine. Now, anybody who tries to hurt you, I will not make said promise.
That's fine. Even encouraged.
Absolutely.
Make them suffer.
Yay! My favorite thing.
When I add these dots, does that read as chainmail?
Mm,
Maybe
not
it'll
quite.
read more as chainmail when I make it gray.
Maybe.
Let's see. If not, I'll just go in and change it.
Right.
I am zoomed way the fuck out, so I'm sure I could go in and actually add a bunch of tiny little rings in there.
That would be awesome.
I mean, sure, you think it would be awesome because you're not drawing it.
No, I mean, I understand the extra
It would,
level
yeah,
of detail,
it would
but
be tedious.
it would be tedious AF. But when it's done, it would look sweet.
I mean, sure, but the guy that I want to look good is that guy. I guess the drum set is part of it. I did sort of make a thing out of wanting the drum set to be a big part of it.
Well, and it all comes down to your focal point.
Does the dwarf draw the viewer's attention?
Exactly. It's like I know some art lingo or something.
Or something.
I've come to find if you're going to steal art, you need to know a little bit about it,
Well, that helps
especially if
you.
you're going to make money after.
Yeah, it helps you sell it later.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta get a good fence. Is that Beef?
yeah, I'm so sorry for being really late.
Beef, you're here!
Yeah.
We
I
Hiya,
just,
Beef.
understand that hell is a crazy place.
it is such a crazy place. Can't believe people get married in hell. It's so weird.
Well, sometimes till death do us part just isn't enough. And for a lot of
Ooh.
people, marriage is hell for some reason.
Oh, well, they should probably not live through that, but it's fine. It's their life.
You know, yeah. Look, the beautiful thing about it, though, is you've got guys like, what, Henry the Eighth or whatever it was. Uh, he can get married as many times as he wants to
Oh,
as many of the women whose heads he chopped off as
oh,
he pleases.
speaking of, I saw him like last night in the pit of fire, and all the ladies are just like taking turns whipping him. He doesn't seem to like it though, because it's not a kinky thing. It's
Oh,
pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
That had to be a great thing to see.
It was
I'm
great.
I
Yeah,
got to appreciate a misogynist getting their just desserts. I
yeah,
gotta
yeah, yeah.
gotta love it. You love to
You know,
see it.
Anne Boleyn was holding a whip with her teeth and also with her hands. Like she was just like doing it multiple
Double
times.
whip?
Yeah,
That
double
is
whip.
so hot.
That's
Right?
pretty crazy. I might have to take back what I said about the safety of Hell versus Gotham then. Yeah, hell's sounding pretty dangerous right now. I will say, I do think this dwarf is missing tattoos, so I'm gonna have to go in and make sure that I give him some good tattoos.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
So,
nice.
Beef, what I'm drawing here is a dwarf that
Metal.
is playing. Yeah, it is metal. There's a lot of metal. In fact, all of the drums here are metal. They're anvils, and he's playing them with big ass hammers.
The way that I missed the first hour of this SMH. Am I
Uh,
really a metalhead? Also, hello, I am Beef. Um, what's it called? I was trying to say hi to little Harley.
yeah.
Yeah, glad you made it, Beef.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
We've
see
been
what you're
having
working
fun with
on.
this one.
Oh, exciting.
Harley has
Hmm.
been instrumental, if you'll pardon the phrase, in helping me figure out what some of these pieces are going to look like because I knew that the drums themselves would be anvils, but the actual um,
Symbols.
cymbals and then the hi hat, I wasn't sure about, but we worked it out together.
Yeah. Teamwork. It makes the dream work.
Indeed, it does. And now that I've zoomed in, I absolutely hate this knot chainmail. It looks like nasty tongues. So we're going to get rid of this, and I'm going to come back and fix it later.
Okay. So when I saw you putting those earrings on his ear, it made me think he might need a nipple ring. What do you think?
I mean, I think that I have to put a nipple ring on him now.
No,
I think that's just, I have to. I don't think I have a choice.
it's total metal.
What's your
Holy
opinion on
metal.
that, Beef?
Hmm? Holy
Nipple ring?
metal.
No nipple ring?
No, no, you have to have the nipple ring.
You've got to
I
have.
like how the beard came out, by the way.
That's good. Thank you. I
Yeah.
do not like doing beards. But again, I don't typically draw mask characters.
Right. I also like that you put the other hammer behind his head like it's a I like that.
That's just where it goes. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I like it. It works.
He's got a nice big Santa Clausy beard.
Super sexy. Is that like not quite bangs in the
Yeah,
front of his? That's cool. That's super punk. I like it.
yeah, I really liked the hairstyle reference that I saw. It was just like he doesn't quite have uh like a full buzz.
Yeah.
That's a gross line. You know what it is. I'm not drawing with my whole arm. I'm making wrist motions. Shouldn't be making wrist motions.
I was gonna say Fliss, it's not golf. It's not all in the wrist or the hips.
If you draw with your hips, I got mad respect for you.
Kira?
We could start a new art form.
It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. That's the eraser, and that's not what I want.
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
I'm-
Hmm?
Oh
I
no,
was
that's
gonna.
just coughing.
I'm getting a vibe of every time he accomplished mastering a certain part of his little setup there, he went for a body modification.
Works for me. Blech. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes this thing fails to change my tool, and it drives me fucking crazy.
Oh, I can imagine.
So, a nipple ring. What do nipple rings even look like?
Oh, it could be a barbell or it can be a hoop.
I feel like he's a hoop guy.
So far, he looks like to be a hoop guy. Between the nose hoop and the ear hoops, he looks like a hoop guy.
I don't want the hoop to end up looking like a
Really big areola.
yeah. I don't think it's going to. That looks like a nipple ring to me.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who mattered. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how to do fucking muscles. Muscles is next week in class. Doing muscle groups and shit. Get him some
That should be
nice.
fun.
I think there is a hip bone right there, so we can get that nice, strongly defined cum gutter. I'm sure there's an actual name for that body part, but I don't care. I learned that word from Grant O'Brien from College Humor.
I'm so mad.
What?
I recently learned about that word because one of my friends' names was Fred Durst's cum gutters because like they fucking love the Beastie Boys for some reason. I think it's Beastie Boys. Let me see.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, it is. Oh boy, Limp Bizkit, not Beastie Boys. Whatever. There's no
Those
difference.
That
abs
sounds
look
about right.
terrible. I need to. His chest is too smooth. I need to suggest these abs. These abs must be suggested. Fucking dwarves are too small. That's all right. I think that's good. Let's get his leg in here. In fact,
Yes, with the ripped jeans.
With the fur.
he's got the apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. The whole inn was looking at her. Next thing you know, she hit the flow.
And now I just want to say, Elfie got low, 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 low.
Get a nice defined deltoid.
Why is everyone horny for the wolf in Elden Ring?
No comment.
Oh no.
I'm not horny for anybody, so I have no idea what that is, which is why I have no comment.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Oh,
horny for anybody. I just make thirst trap daddies.
wait. I just want to play Elden Ring.
Oh, you got that game too?
No, I want to. It's
Oh,
literally me coded.
It's expensive.
It
I got
is.
it.
How is it?
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it looks really good. Like,
I heard it was
it
better
looks
than
so
the
good.
Horizon game because it does exploration better.
Yeah, and it's a little bit sad because the Horizon games just keep getting shafted because they always like release when like a huge game is coming out, and of course the devs are pissed. But they sad.
I mean, they should do better.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say other than that this looks a little bit more like chainmail. It ain't perfect, but it'll do.
Yeah.
No, that's better.
Oh, I know it's better. It's just not
We
quite.
don't need perfect.
Yes, we do. No, I've literally like the past 4 or 5 streams that we've done, the inspirational quote has been about don't seek perfection or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's gotta be perfect.
Nah.
Gotta fix this nose. It's a little bit wonk, even for a dwarf.
Okay.
There we go. That's a good
So,
arm. I like that arm. But
yeah, I like it.
that's a nice boulder. I just have this page open on my other screen that is literally just a whole page full of nipple rings.
That is amazing. I love that. So, Beef, I recently got myself a PS3 and I just got
Oh.
Heavenly Sword in the mail.
Ooh.
Oh. Is it good?
Yeah, it
Heavenly
is.
Sword is amazing. If you've never
It's
Oh.
played it, it's highly worth it, I think.
so worth it.
It's one of the early games on PS3 and it makes full use of the 6-axis controller. So
Yep.
like there will be times when you have to throw your either a sword or a shield and you have to control it with the motion controls on your controller.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's super sick. Hot chicks with swords.
Yep. Well, so I will say that while Beef is a supporter of hot chicks, as far as I know, he's not a romantically or sexually attracted to hot chicks.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So
You don't have to be to appreciate hot chicks with swords.
this is
True.
true. I am just making that clear in case it wasn't.
You can
Ah, it's
completely kill
fair.
Kratos easily.
So yeah, that is my recent acquisition. Got
Heck
a few
yeah.
other games to go with it too. I like God of War and a couple other ones. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I have a gaming collection.
At the end of this stream, I'm gonna show this to my girlfriend because she used to be a drummer,
Yeah,
and she's gonna
Oh.
tell me why this won't work. She'll be like, that would sound terrible, but okay.
I'm telling you, an animal skin over one of the anvils would totally change at least the sound on that anvil a bit.
I can throw an animal skin over one of these things.
Yeah,
One.
We can get some animal skins on these bad boys. It's a fantasy game, so no
yeah,
animals are actually getting harmed.
exactly.
I can't
Yeah.
encourage anyone to actually harm an animal in real life, um, unless that animal happens to be like a Nazi,
Mm.
uh, in which
Interesting.
case harm with prejudice. Most wild animals are not Nazis because Nazis prefer like order, and so you won't generally
Right.
see that kind of thing happen in the wild. Um, so don't kill wild animals. Um, most domestic
You're right.
animals,
Kill Nazis.
yeah. See, there you get. Beef knows what I'm talking about. Kill
Well,
Nazis. They actually go to a special part of hell. It's
Yeah.
interesting, because every time I have visited hell, just to see Beef, there's no Nazis there because Beef doesn't live in the part of hell with Nazis.
Although I do visit that area from time to time, and they just get like each and every victim that they that they wronged. It's up to them to make it right, if that makes sense. As in, like the victims get revenge on them constantly,
Yeah,
over and
yeah,
over
yeah.
again. Yeah,
yes.
every day. So it's like, every day, depending on how many people they kill, they could get the same person or something different. You never know. It's exciting.
Right. Sounds amazing to me. I like it.
I
Yeah,
am
same, same.
getting messages from my little clown.
Little clown bunny.
Oh, Richie says, "Hey, Beef."
Hey, hello, Richie. I'm looking at the stream chat, but I don't see anything.
I see it. So,
That's weird. It just says welcome to the chat room. Let me refresh.
it doesn't. Twitch is not good with showing old stream history, so it may just be that you loaded
Oh,
into the stream after Richie said, "Hey."
wow.
Uh,
I'm so sorry if I saw it so late.
Well, I just told you, so I mean, I take my part of the responsibility too. You know what he
Oh,
needs is a spiked cuff on his wrist.
Oh,
We're gonna give him a spiked cuff.
we're getting super fancy with it.
Well, he's not wearing anything. Like, I guess he's wearing the jeans, right? And a
Yeah.
nipple ring.
Yeah.
So let's make him marginally more clothed, but not like we don't have to overdo it.
That's fair.
He still needs to look like a thirst trap at the end of the day. For anyone who's into, hairy metal drummers. Somebody is.
Wait, are we not allowed to eat the mussels straight off of the beach?
Uh,
I hear you should cook them first.
Oh, yeah. Because there's like it's they're growing on the rocks, so we're just like they're on the rocks, they're right there. Are you allowed to?
I mean, here's the thing. Like, you live in Los Angeles. No, wait, no, you don't.
Yet.
Here's the thing. If you lived in Los Angeles, or if you lived somewhere with like a high
Pollution
instance
ratio.
of pollution,
Yeah.
or like if you lived in the Pacific Northwest, right?
Mhm.
I would say don't eat anything off the beach because like there are such high, especially the drug rate.
Oh, right.
You you could end up getting sick just from the drugs in that muscle alone.
That seems legit to me.
Yeah, there's some absolutely Batman shit crazy. See what I did there? That was a reference for you,
I
Harley.
like it. Yeah, I caught it.
We need to watch the Twilight Batman, which is also a detective, back to the roots.
Oh, yeah, I heard it was really good.
Yeah, but my gay friends was
I don't know.
but my gay friends are prohibiting me, actually absolutely
What?
forbidding me to watch it because Robert Pattinson is gonna do porn if the movie flops. So-
Oh, okay. I
Eh,
understand now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I was like,
they should just go watch the Twilight movies then and be happy. It's fine.
true.
like any normal teenage girl.
Yeah, they were like, beef. I absolutely forbid you to watch it. I was like, wait, why? Oh, I guess I hate you guys.
Yeah.
It's already doing too well.
I know.
They're doomed.
You do.
How do I do a foreshortened spike? I think like that. Fuck foreshortening so much. God damn it, perspective. Why did I decide I wanted to give him a spike bracelet?
Because you thought he was too nakies.
Perfect, yes.
Also because I thought it would be cool.
It is cool.
I can only imagine if my professor was watching my stream. I have not given him my address. All of the things that he would say. I think actually, guys, I think that line art is done.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think all I've got to do now is give him his tattoos and then provide like detailing on these anvils.
Nice.
So then the question becomes, what kind of tattoos should he have?
Mm.
Thank you, Richie. I agree, it is cool.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Hello, Richie.
Hiya, Richie.
We love Richie.
We love Richie in this house.
That is super dope.
Well, that's
I kind
weird.
of really want to listen to him play now.
I looked up cool tribal tattoos and it said no results found.
Oh.
I kid, of course. Oh, these are all so complicated. Oh, this one is dope. Where can I put that? I'll figure out a place for it, I think. Create a whole new layer for one, because I don't want to fuck up my line art, because my line art's looking pretty okay right now. So I like the idea of him having a shoulder tattoo, but at the same time I can't make it show up on his shoulder like I want to right now.
Really would want to get a tattoo at some point.
You don't have any ink yet, Beef?
I want some, but I have to actually make it, if that makes sense. Because I want to design my own.
Right.
My sister-in-law was learning how to be apprenticing to be a tattoo artist, and I think that's fucking rad as hell.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
They are incredible. I love their art so much, and
Oh.
I need to pester them to see more of it because it's been a while since I've seen any. But I'm sure also they probably work. They work so much that they might not have any. That's a cool one.
Fliss, I sent you a pic that might help with your reference if you want.
Okay. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I
That's fair.
appreciate it. Richie, how late is night where you are? I've got this. Woo! 4:42 is more like morning than it is like night. Let's see.
Wait, does that put you in like Britain, Richie?
I believe Richie mentioned that they were German before.
Ah,
They at least
Europe.
speak German,
Ah,
as they corrected me on Luftballons in our last stream.
aha.
Germany,
Okay.
our wonderful German allies.
Yes.
My brother got to go to Germany when he was a kid.
Oh, cool.
I got to go to England.
Me
And
too.
I would like to go to Germany. I've only been through Germany as part of my military career.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. I
No.
just spent time in an airport.
Right.
I really hope this design that I'm referencing isn't like an actual tribal design for something.
Also, like, cheap, tacky tribal designs, like back in the day, were all the rage. So he fits right in with the 90s metalhead.
Well, this isn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be more dwarven than it is necessarily like those.
True.
But I think that's pretty solid right there.
I like how the dwarven kind of references the old runic.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That is a big thing that appeals to me. Those Germanic languages in there. A little bit of Norse,
Yes, absolutely.
Scandinavian, Northern European. All the places that I've never been but would love to go.
Same.
If I could move anywhere in the world, I would move to Sweden.
That makes sense.
Now, Sweden has problems, but everywhere has problems.
Yeah, everywhere's got problems.
But Sweden also has a holiday where they just eat strawberries.
This sounds really good.
That
Yeah.
sounds super tasty.
It's like a nice summer festival. I don't remember what it's called anymore. Yes.
Yes,
Sorry, Richie said strawberries are amazing.
they are so
Absolutely, they
good.
are.
I am trying to erase on the wrong layer. Because I am with it.
They just call it Strawberry Festival.
See what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, okay, I was curious because of this. I'm like, that sounds delicious. I fucking love strawberries. And
Right.
then
I wasn't making it up.
it's just called Strawberry Festival.
Hey, you know what? Why complicate it? The Swedes are pretty much about keeping it simple.
Right?
The I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's literally just called Midsummer Strawberry Festival. I really don't know what
Yeah.
else to say.
That's awesome. I love it.
There's nothing else you need to say because that's what it's called.
I want it. Oh, that sounds so good.
There are so many wonderful holidays throughout the world that
They really
we
are.
don't talk about in the United States. I mean, that's, I think, one of the things that I would like to do most if I ever travel is travel specifically to be in places on holidays to get to celebrate holidays in different places.
Oh,
Oh,
that'd be
same.
wonderful.
I wanna like eat strawberries and participate in like the Midsummer Strawberry Festival without the Ari Aster version. Also, my Swedish friend absolutely hates Midsummer because of that.
What?
He's like, dude, this is not Swedish. There's gonna be so many people who are gonna be scared of like what's called our tradition now. I'm like, okay, I get why you're
What?
mad.
Scared of their tradition?
Yeah, because Midsummer, because they have a Midsummer festival.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah,
I never saw that
oh,
movie,
because they
so.
watched that movie. Eh.
yeah.
Okay,
I think you had a point there,
referencing that movie, the 70s version is way worse than the other one, and
There's this 70s Midsummer? Hold on. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. It's just,
We're getting into it now, and what's frustrating about that is that it is like we only got like 12 minutes left in the stream.
Oh,
It's all right.
yeah, I'm sorry. I just love horror movies, and like I love, uh, but
yeah.
at the same
No.
time, I respect where he's coming from,
Okay, so
100%.
question, Beef.
Hmm.
Uh, now I'm not gonna do the normal thing where I'm racist and I assume that you just love horror movies because you're a demon from hell. But I will ask, do you love horror movies because you like horror movies, or do you love horror movies because of the way they make a boy scooch up close to you and hold you?
Oh, it's the way that they make it because they're very cheesy, but like if a guy wants to be there, that's cool too. It's like I
Okay.
just love the cheese and the effects, but like sometimes like, if they're genuinely scary, I love that too. I love it when they jump scare me. I know that's a controversial opinion in horror movies, but I love jump scares. Like
Okay.
keep me at the edge of my seat.
When I was
Yeah,
growing up, we had a special word for jump scares. You know what we called it?
what they call it.
Being startled.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
You get
It's
startled by something, and now we say jump scare, and it sounds like new speak to me. It's ridiculous. It's a double plus good word.
it's so good. I don't know. Have you seen Last Night in Soho?
No, I don't know what
no.
that is.
Oh, it's so good. It's like Perfect Blue like 2, but also Fight Club 2, but not really Fight Club 2. Does that make sense?
Well, I've never seen Fight
Okay.
Club either,
It's I
but
didn't
I
like the
haven't seen
ending.
Perfect Blue
But
either.
Perfect Blue is amazing. I love like everything
You're
about it.
amazing.
You're amazing.
I try.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know who's amazing? Richie's amazing.
Appreciate so
Richie is
amazing.
soup's amazing.
Lil Harley's amazing too.
Oh,
Well, Harley is
y'all
amazing.
are
Yeah,
amazing.
you're amazing. Like scrub muscles.
I need more tattoos on this guy.
So I like horror movies that like have zero realm of possibility. The ones that could actually be possible, that's the stuff that actually scares me,
Hmm.
like the psychological thrillers. But I
Hmm.
still like those too.
Hmm. Yeah, psychological thrillers are great. You might actually really love Soho because that's 100% a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like the lady who played what's it called? Queen's Gambit. Anya
Oh,
Drake.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the main characters in it. You'll love it.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Plus like I mean some of the things get a bit heavy. It's about like you'll see. I'll probably send you like a link if you're interested, but
Sure.
yeah. Are you familiar with Edgar Wright?
No.
He's like a really good director. He directed Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the
Okay.
Dead.
Love,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
love Hot Fuzz.
Hot
love
Fuzz and
Hot
Shaun of the
Fuzz.
Dead are amazing.
Hot Fuzz is so gay. I know, like what's it
It's
called?
so good.
Yeah,
It's for the greater good.
The
yeah, yeah.
greater good.
Yeah, great or good.
Oh, I love it.
Definitely an underappreciated movie.
Yes.
The other day I threw it on just to watch it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Love Hot Fuzz. Plus, I mean, I'm like very gay for Nick Frost. Here you go. If you are interested, I'm not sure how spoilery it can get, but like it's like the way that they do match cuts and like some of the scenes I would not have expected. L- Just a content warning, it may have some how- I don't know how I'm supposed to put this. It's like
Out with it, man.
coercion to prostitution. I don't know if
Mm,
I can like I don't want to spoil it, but at the same time I also want to like make sure that people aren't caught too much by surprise if they haven't triggered to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, hmm.
Human trafficking, specifically
Yeah.
sex trafficking, would be the.
Yes, there it is. Yeah, yeah. But it's really good. I promise. I wouldn't like recommend anything that's like what's called like you know masturbation to like oh yeah this is like women getting hurt and it's like no it's just a good story. You'll enjoy it I think. Also, there's like kids out there who are better activists than a lot of us back in the day. Like you know how the Florida people are trying to do the "Don't Say Gay" bill?
Right.
right.
Children are standing up for yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
I've also heard
hell
about Idaho. passing their bill in the House that makes it a life sentence to provide transgender children with gender affirming care.
I'm so tired.
Yep, I am very tired and I do not need this. It's especially concerning because in red states, uh, they love to copy each other with this kind of transphobic nonsense.
Of course they do. They're all monolith. I mean,
They're not, but that's the thing. South Dakota has such a weird voting record for this kind of thing, because on the
Yeah.
one hand they'll be like super red state and there's "Let's Go Brandon" bumper stickers on half the cars here, and on the other hand they'll do things like they just legalized medicinal marijuana.
well, it's because a lot of libertarians like love marijuana. Like, whenever they say stuff like, "Oh yeah, I am like fiscally conservative, but I'm like more liberal in like what's called in terms of like drug use or whatever," they mean they're libertarian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
Having grown up in South Dakota, it's it's so backwards.
it is.
Like it's so contradictory here. Um,
Yes,
People will talk out of both sides of their mouths all the time, and it's
of course.
super annoying.
Yeah, of course. Tired. What the
And most of them, the sad part is, most of them are just really good at following. And if you are able to get them on an individual basis to talk about things, they start to see where there's a problem and then start to shift their perspective. But unfortunately, you have to do it on an individual basis to make any sort of headway. And even then, once they go back to the echo chamber, you might lose ground that you made.
It's
So,
exactly this.
I think
It
uh,
sucks,
that's
but
true of a lot of America, to be honest. Like I see a lot of that in uh like liberal Texas.
yeah.
well, it's just also in like left circles too, in
Yeah.
like online. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was on a like a John Oliver program I was watching where they were like they had somebody in Austin that was like, "Yeah, I was liberal until somebody took a Duke on my porch."
Uh,
And
okay.
it's like that's literally when you have to become more liberal, because if
Yeah.
you don't understand why that's happening and you think that the problem is the people who are duking on your porch, you're
Right.
probably wrong.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think people are
It's
duking on
cookie
your I
duty.
mean, if you have no enemies and you're not
Right.
just some rich person and somebody's duking on your porch, it's not a prank. They have nowhere else to duke.
Right.
They don't want to duke outside any more than you want them to duke outside.
Right.
Come on. This ain't rocket science, people.
It's not even paper airplanes.
All I want to do is pop, 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 pop. At the moment, me and my friend were watching. Sorry, this is like a complete tangent, but like we were watching Disenchantment, and there's this like what's called a little boy named Derek, and we always just call him Ralph 2.0 because he's like Ralph, but like a
Derek.
cute Ralph.
I'm
That's
in danger. That Ralph?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he's like a more innocent, and cute version rather than Ralph, who my boogers are spicy.
Oh, Ralph is a treasure.
oh,
I love Ralph.
that's awesome.
You choose me? And it's funny because it has a picture of a train. I'm afraid we are at the end of our stream. Let me go ahead and zoom out. I was putting some greebling on these anvils here at the end to make them a bit more dwarvy. Uh,
So good.
I think I achieved what I set out to do here more than I thought that I would. Um,
I dig it.
we've got a heavy metal iron core dwarf. Once I finish this, I'll probably put it as a token. I'll slap that bad boy and roll 20, and it'll be a character. Thanks, Richie. I agree. I think it does look really good. Let's go back to our quote of the day here. Our quote of the day is pretty funny. If you can draw well, tracing won't hurt, and if you can't draw well, tracing won't help. Bradley Schmell. Uh, a lot of
That's
what
good.
this is referring to is stuff like when you can draw well, what you're tracing usually is the the perspective of a background. There's a lot of programs like Clip Studio Paint will let you pose figures in order to get some really dynamic poses, do stuff like that with it. That's the kind of thing that it's saying tracing won't hurt, because they expect you to get the very basics of that shape and then turn off the tracing and then go add your own details and make it yours, because that's the kind of thing that you're going to end up doing with that kind of thing. And if you are not at the point where you're tracing whole rooms off of Blender or uh, 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 I just said it, Clip Studio Paint, then don't waste your time trying to trace things, because you're not going to learn the shapes as well as looking at a reference separately. I really recommend, if you're looking for a good reference app, there's an app that's free. It's called PureRef. Look it up on Google Machine. They will, track your personal information, but they'll also tell you where to find this reference application that you can use when you're drawing. You just copy and paste. You can force it to be on top, which is really useful. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. You guys have anything else real quick here at the end?
You are all beautiful.
Yes, everybody's amazing, and I love the art, and this has been a wonderful time. Thank
Join
you
us
so
again.
much.
Well,
You're very, very.
we're gonna have to have you back on another time, Harley.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Absolutely. Sounds like a wonderful plan to me.
Heck yeah.
I will talk to you guys later. Thank you all so much for joining me. We will see you next time on Beef and Clown.